Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at creating custom shapes inside Photoshop from drawings that you have designed. Before we begin, however, I have more Photoshop training at Skillshare.com. When you sign up for Skillshare, you get access to thousands of classes there, including over 250 of mine. In the description below is a Skillshare coupon for you, which is at least as good as the current Skillshare offer, and typically mine will be better. Please feel free to share this coupon with family and friends. Let's swing back to Photoshop and I'm going to open an image of a leaf. Now I drew this leaf in my notebook and then I took a photograph of it. I've done a little bit of cleaning up. You'll probably get better results if you scan your images, but I just took a photograph with my cell phone. So this is just a standard image. Everything's on the background layer and we're going to create a custom shape from this in Photoshop. And this is going to be a vector shape. So it will scale to whatever size that you like. So you need a black and white image for this. So you're going to start with a black and white image because that's what you need to create a custom shape. Next up, we're going to blur this with a Gaussian blur, and that's just going to allow us to soften the edges. So we'll choose filter and then blur and Gaussian blur. Make sure that in this sort of preview area, you've got a sort of relevant part of the image so you can see what's happening. Now my radius for my blur at the moment is 2.1. If I drop it down, you'll see that it's not very soft at all. Let's just enlarge it a bit. And as I bring the radius up, it gets softer. Now you don't want to go all the way because just make it all grey. You just want to get a sort of softening of the edge because that's going to give your final custom shape a sort of softer edge. It's going to be more rounded and less jagged if you like. So I'm thinking something like about 2.1, 2.2 is going to work for this particular image. I'll click OK. So now our image is fuzzy and what we need to do is to make it not fuzzy. And so we do that with a curves adjustment layer. Layer, new adjustment layer, and then curves. Now with this adjustment layer, you get some control over the thickness of the lines. What you're going to do is you're going to bring the black side, which is this little indicator here, inwards, and you're going to bring the white side inwards as well. And you're going to put them pretty much nearly on top of each other, and depending on where you make that sort of transition point, the lines are going to be thinner if they're further towards the black side, and they're going to be thicker if they're further towards the white side. And you can see I'm picking up a bit of unwanted color there as well. So what I'm going to do is find a sweet spot for my design and for what I want my design to look like. Now this is looking pretty good here right now. I sort of like the middle area. I can see all of these white areas clearly. The lines are pretty thick. It looks good to me. So whatever you want your custom shape to look like, this is where you're actually going to craft it. So find some position for these two indicators that gives you the shape that you want. If we go to the layers palette, and of course you can get to that by choosing window and then layers, you'll see that we've got a curves adjustment here and our original background layer. And then the curves adjustment is just sort of sharpening out that blur that we applied to the image. Well, we're going to put that and bake it into the image if you like. So again, we're going to right click here and choose merge down. And so that merges it all into the background layer. Next, we're going to make a selection of the black areas, and the easiest tool for this really is the magic wand tool. So select the magic wand tool, and then up from the control bar up here, I suggest that you set tolerance to around about 40. That means that anything that is black or pretty close to black is going to be selected, and anything that is white or sort of light grey will be left behind. You want to turn contiguous off because here I've got lots of lines that are not joining up with each other. If I had contiguous turned on, they wouldn't be selectable. So make sure contiguous is turned off, and you're just going to click on something that's black, and you can see here that everything in the image here is now selected. Now this is the tricky bit because this doesn't make sense, but it works. What you're going to do is you're going over here to the marquee tool. Don't know why it's on the marquee tool, but trust me, that's where it is. Click on the marquee tool. You've got your selection still in place, and you're going to right click over a selected area. So just right click here and you get this option, make work path. Now you need to set a tolerance. Now the minimum tolerance is 0.5 and the maximum tolerance is something around about 10. So let's try 0.5. So this is the smallest tolerance. When I click OK, you'll see that there's lots of sort of grey little boxes around the shape, and every one of those is a node. And there's way too many of them around this shape. So I'm just going to undo that with Edit Undo. I'm going back, I'm going to right click and choose Make Work Path. And this time I'm going to select something much larger. Let's do 5, for example. And now we've got very, very few anchor points. And in actual fact, we've sort of lost the lines of our leaf. So 0.5 was too small and 5 was way too big. So let me just do undo again, and let's go and select our work path. And I'm going to do something like about 1.2. And that works really well for this image. You may need to experiment, but just assume that 0.5 is going to be way too small of a value. I'll click OK. Now we've got quite a few anchor points, but not too many of them. Let's go to the Paths palette here. Again, you can get to it by choosing Window and then Paths. And you've got what's called a work path. Well, a work path is a path that can disappear really easily. So we're going to turn this into a named path. So you're going to double click on this and you're going to give it a name. And now it's going to be more stable in the Paths palette. So let's go back to our original drawing. And what I'm going to do is add a new layer to this document, and I'm going to delete the actual leaf. And I'm going back to Paths, and I'm just going to deselect my leaf. So basically we've got a document that has a transparent background. Let's go and fill it with white. So I'm just going to use the paint bucket here, just fill it with white. This is our leaf, and when I click on the leaf in the Paths palette, you see that we see this sort of outline. This is a path, it's a vector path. And so because it's a vector path, you can select it with the path tool, such as the path selection tool. When I select over it, we can see all the anchor points that are making up our path. Now these are editable, so if you wanted to make changes to them, you could. Let me just quickly show you one. I'm just going to make a change to this one that's causing this dip in here. There's an anchor point in here. We can see it when we choose the path selection tool and select over these paths. Now the tool you use to change an anchor point is this white arrow tool, which is the direct selection tool. So you're going to click it and you're going to select just the anchor point you want to make changes to. And I'm just going to drag it out here a little bit, and that will smooth out that line. Now there are other videos around on using the path tools in Photoshop to adjust and make paths, so we're not going to cover that here right now. What we're going to cover is turning this into a custom shape that we can use in future. And the way we do that is we make sure that we've got our path showing here, and we go and select it with the path selection tool. So you're going to make a big selection over the entire leaf shape so that you can see every one of these anchor points. Then you'll go to Edit and you'll go to Define Custom Shape. You'll see a preview of your shape here. So here's our little leaf, and I'm going to call it Leaf. And I'll click OK. And we don't need that any longer. So in the Paths palette here, I'm just going to click away so that I don't have that leaf path selected. I've just got a single white filled layer in my document. Now to use a custom shape, you'll go to the Custom Shape tool, and it shares a toolbar position, probably on your toolbar with the rectangle tool. Just select Custom Shape, and from the control bar up here, you're going to click the down pointing arrow, and the shape that you just made is going to be the last one in the list. So you're just going to click on that. Now you can choose the colors to use. So I'm going to give it a fill, but it's not going to have a stroke. So let me just go and choose a green for the fill. Make sure that there is no stroke at all, and I'll start dragging out my leaf. And if I hold the Shift key, then the leaf is going to be constrained to its original proportion. So it's not going to be dragged out of alignment to make it too fat or too tall. So hold the Shift key and you get the original proportions. And here is our leaf. Now these custom shapes are stored inside Photoshop. You are advised to save your custom shapes in an external file in case something happens to your Photoshop preferences, because you would then lose your shapes. But from one instance of Photoshop to the next, you should have all those shapes in your custom shapes area. And you can use this for whatever you like. And there's a market in selling shapes for Photoshop too. Lots of people create and sell shapes online. So that might be something that you want to do with sketches that you have in your sketchbook. I hope this video has been of help to you so that you can now create shapes from your own drawings in Photoshop. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be alerted when new videos are released. Until next time, my name's Helen Bradley. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel.